You saying get out, Daddy, but y'all ain't even telling me the real reason. I get up every morning, I go to work, I pay my half the bills. Every month I go half the the bills. Everything paid. What's the reason? Look at this. I come home and you packing my stuff for what? You going through my drawers in my room? What are you doing? You tell me why. What are you doing? What do you mean what I'm doing? What you mean? Why are you recording? Because I want the people to see how I'm being treated. You're not telling me the reason. You're not telling me the reason though. You can't be ready to tell me. You can't be ready to tell me the reason though. Tell me the reason why you put me out. You keep saying the company I keep. I got the same two words I've been having.
Yeah, but they're running through my house. You're coming in.
What's the reason though? What's the?
Don't care about it.
Is it because I'm not a basketball player? Is it because I'm not a football player, Daddy? I didn't make you proud. Like, come on. Like, look at this. This is ridiculous. Look at this. Look how you're treating me though.
You're talking about under my roof. You're a disgrace to the.
What's up, YouTube? It's Rochelle Tannen. It's June 29th, 2022. It is 5:14 a.m. The clip in the beginning of the video, you guys can find that in the YouTube search bar. I saw this video as I was Uber eating over the weekend. Actually, I watched it a good 10-20 times because it's hilarious. But I had to do this video as well. You know, I'm looking at this man, and that I've seen titles saying that this was a teenager. That's no teenager. He looked about 24, 25 years old, give or take. 26 maybe. And I have to say this off the top. Kudos to his dad. Shout out to those baby boomers, or he may be an early Gen Xer, but shout out to you. I'm reading the titles to these reaction videos and things, and his father kicks out son because he's gay and he's at the LGBTQ. That's not the reason he kicked him out of his house. And let me start by saying, prefacing this, for African Americans, black people, whatever we call ourselves these days, this is for a lot of you that did not have a father, and the few of you that did. Y'all always talking that father shit, but fathers aren't mothers. And it seems to me, once a man gets a certain age, it's time to get out. Once a young woman becomes a certain age, it's time to get out. When you get to the point where you can question your parents in their house, or try to tell them what to do, and want to have your friends running in and out all night, you want to screw, you want to go out, you want to live in any lifestyle you so choose, it's time for you to go pay the cost to be the boss. I don't know what day it happened, but a lot of millennials and Gen Z, you guys seem to think that you can question your parents in their own house. See, my mother died when she was 37, when I was going on 17. My sisters and I, we were fairly young when our mother passed. And my father, like a lot of men that are baby boomers, black baby boomers, he had a drug problem, and it got worse as time went on. And even with his drug problem, don't get it twisted, I still appreciate him being in my life every day of my life. There was never a day I didn't have access to my father. And for those that are lucky enough to have a father, because I hear a lot of black people that say they wish they had a father and all that, y'all need to stop playing the shot and appreciate your fathers. Yeah, it's time for you to get up out of his house. He's not putting him out the house because he's gay. He's putting him out the house because he's disrespectful. Disrespectful know-it-all that's asked questioning his father, what's the reason, like you on some reality show. Like you Cardi B. This, you know, I'm a huge fan of music, all kind of music. I'm an MTV kid, and you know, Jay-Z said it a long time ago in one of his classic songs. This ain't no movie, dog. You younger ones, you really think life should always be online and whatnot, and it shouldn't. If you respect your parents, like that man told his son, he asked his son, why are you recording this? You guys got to respect the fact that your parents come from generation, and some of us older millennials, where again, we appreciate privacy, and some family issues should be just that, family issues. And as far as that 25, 26 year old's concerned, you want to run people in and out of your house, you go get a house. It can be a tent, it can be a box, it can be a van, it can be a penthouse if you can afford it. So that's another thing. You're paying half of the bills, and what is the reason? That man that put that guy out of his house, believe me, if you're there or not, his bills are going to get paid. He raised you. You didn't raise him. I've sat around and watched my peers for years take for granted how much their parents helped them. You guys don't seem to understand what's going on. Housing is very expensive right now. In the city I live in, even for a dilapidated place, you need first, security, and last. And a lot of these people in Philly, they don't bend on that. You better come with all that money. And then there's times, even if you do have the money, they play a lot of games here in Philadelphia with the housing market. You could be out rented. Someone could offer them more money. They could change their mind at the last minute. It's rough out here, and it's been in the preceding years. And over the years, I've heard people like that young man complain about what their parents do in their house. And I don't understand that concept, because when I got to the age where my dad and I didn't like his second wife. My mother had just died. A lot was going on. I left. And I never went back. And my dad had asked me to come home, but I wasn't going back to that. And it's been hard, believe me. Because there's been times not listening to my dad. A hard head makes for a soft behind, as my mother used to say. And he wasn't putting him out because he was gay. He was putting him out because he was disrespectful. The people in this new wave gay community, seem to want to blame everything on your sexuality, or that's not it. A lot of you all you're unappreciative, you're ungrateful, you're rude, you're condescending, you're narcissistic, you're vain. And it's gotten to the point where you want to tell your parents what to do in their house. I've heard this from men and women. I've met women that have children living up in their parents' house and complaining about how their parents don't want to babysit their kids. Complaining that their kids are wrecking their parents' house. And usually these parents are older, they're ready to retire, they don't raise their kids, they don't help their kids, gave them money, deposits for apartments. When the kids just go mess up, don't pay rent, don't do this or that, the other. You guys truly take your parents for granted. And this is exactly why in my life I don't really get along with a lot of my peers, because they're childish. Like this guy in this video, he's childish. Even the way he handled it was disrespectful. That should have never been online. Maybe if you want to put it online, his dad would have kicked him out. The recorded his dad after he asked him, "Why are you recording?" He should have turned that off. And maybe they could have worked it out, because it would have been a sign of respect. But see, you guys are so spoiled, you ones born in the 80s and 90s. You're so spoiled. You think everything's about you. Like that young man said, he's recording so people can see how he's treating him. See, things are all about perspective. And when I do these videos and I'm getting in my stride and things, I get so sick and tired of people, and particularly black people, because y'all like to air out your dirty laundry. I get so sick and tired of you guys posting things online, and then when you don't get the response you want, people are negative, people are demons, we're this phobic or that phobic or whatever. No, the people have a different point of view, because people come from different walks of life. See, I don't see his father doing anything wrong. He probably should have put his ass out a few years ago. That ain't no teenager. Now see, my dad, he had 6 daughters, and I have a couple sisters in the Gen Z generation, and they are a trip. Yes, they are. Will talk junk about their parents when their parents are helping them in adulthood. And don't give me that childhood nonsense either, because everybody goes through something in childhood. And I'm talking about from 18 and up. If your parents are helping you with these things, housing, food, childcare, transportation, household essentials, those things that really cost money. You niggas always out here flexing about what you got, your cars and this and that and the third thing. Let me tell you what really costs money. Tissue, toothpaste, deodorant, for ladies, sanitary napkins, and underwear, that socks, things that you have to continually buy. That costs money. And right now, food's astronomical. Astra-fucking-nomical across the board. If you are fortunate enough to be in your parents' house at his age or older, you should be kissing their feet. You should be kissing their feet. Hell, talking about he paid half the bills. That means the rest of your money you could do what you want. You can go do what you want because you're not paying full bills. You want to go run and rip the streets all night? Have some respect for your parents. Go get a hotel room. Or y'all too young to do that too. Because, I always hear the first thing that come out of the mid-20s people's mouth is, I'm young. I'm young. Okay, you may be, but I know at 24, 25, I could get a hotel room or a motel room or some kind of room to go party. There was a time I was at one of my aunt's house and I stayed there for a week or two. I was in my 20s, finding myself. And I want to rip and run the streets. And I came in late one night and she told me, you have to pay for privacy, and she was right. So I left because I need to do what I want to do, and I've been like that for a very long time. And you only have to tell me once. I guess it comes from just my upbringing and background. You only have to tell me once, because there's gonna be things I want to do and I don't want permission for it. And then when you're staying in anyone's house, anybody's house, you gotta respect the rules of the house. Now, don't get me wrong, my aunt knew I was going to go out and different things, but she had a household. She has a husband. At the time, because my aunt was really into the church and she was always helping somebody, so she had, I don't remember who was at her house, but there were some kids there, but she was right. I don't see what the problem is. There's all kinds of ways you could respect your parents' house and still live your life if you're fortunate enough to have parents to live in their house when you're over 18. I just don't understand the problem. And I really give a big ups to that father, because fathers aren't mothers. See, a lot of the grown men living with their mamas, their mothers, that they overcompensate because of different reasons, and they'll let their grown ass sons sit up in the house at 25, 35, 45. But dads aren't moms. A lot more dads should kick these men up out their house. And for the women too. Because I've met some spoiled women who they live with their mother or both parents, but their mothers, and got the nerve to complain. And this goes for anyone living with anybody. If you are an adult and you have to be in someone else's house, you gotta abide by their rules. That's the bottom line. And it's not because of his sexuality, it's because he's an ungrateful brat. That's why he was putting him out his house. And for you Gen Zers and later millennials, you better understand the world was here before you. And you guys want all this respect and all this other stuff. Start doing respectful things. You're not all that young anymore. 25, 26, you're closer to 30 than you are to 21. So you better grow up and real fast, because I don't think a lot of you that doing all this uploading and posting and all this stuff, I don't think you guys have a real clear concept with what's going on right now in this country, in this world. Because you're too busy living your Insta celebrity dreams at other people's expense. Now, again, I commend that dad. I like to see more of these videos. Baby boomers, early Gen Xers, please bring it on. Put these people up out your house. And again, you're not too good for you millennials and you Gen Zers. You're not too good to not live in a nice, comfortable, clean house. Sometimes you gotta go live in a fucking hovel. Sometimes you may have to go rent a motel room, extended stay. That's life. As long as it's 4 walls and it keeps the cold out and the heat in, you're doing good. Because a lot of people don't have that out here. And a lot of you guys are just ungrateful brats. That's why I don't engage with a lot of you and your nonsense. Know that dad wasn't wrong. And I hope I see more videos like that. I'm out.